All right, hey y'all. Sorry if this is a weird angle. My phone is dying, so I have to put it on the charger. So I don't really know what it looks like, and I don't even know where to actually look, to be honest. Obviously, I guess I need to look right there, but I don't know. Anyway, if you've been watching my Instagram stories, and you already know that I'm here to talk about sexism, and I do want to dive right into it because I feel like this video is going to be one of my longer ones. So let's dive into it, shall we? So what I did is I just created a list that I came up with in ways that sexism is perpetuated in everyday life, and it is no way, shape, or form an exhaustive list. It is non-exhaustive, and if you'd like to add to it, please do, because I could spend days and days and days like unpacking sexism, but I'm only trying to do it in a short period of time. Okay. So disclaimers before I jump into it. I was gonna have my disclaimers. Number one, I cuss a lot, so if you don't like cussing, you can just go ahead and click off now. Number two, I'm not here to attack anybody, because men and women, we have all, whether consciously or consciously or unconsciously, and Mercury is not in retrograde, and I keep tripping up my words. We have either consciously or unconsciously perpetuated sexism in one way or another. It's okay. Like, I'm not here to put anybody down. I'm guilty of it too. Like, I just want I want to educate and want us to unlearn it and just be better people, okay? That's all I can ask for. And number three, and I cannot stress this enough because I'm going to say it 3 times. Nothing that I'm saying is subjective. Nothing that I'm saying is subjective. Nothing that I'm saying is subjective, okay? So what that means is you can take your opinion and you can shove it up your ass, because your opinion, there's no room for your opinion here, because I'm telling you what it is, okay? For real. Like, if you have questions, I'm down to answer questions. But if you're just going to place your opinion, then shut the fuck up, okay? And I mean that. For real. So, sexism, the formal definition, so everybody knows what I'm talking about, because I don't want to hear about your case-by-case, individual, whatever. All right? This is what I'm talking about. Sexism. Sexism is the prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination typically against women on the basis of sex. One more time. Sexism is the prejudice, stereotyping, or discrimination typically against women on the basis of sex. All right? So, the first thing that I put on my list, because I felt like, they're all perpetuated like daily, but one that I felt like it's just like woo, 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 like super high alert, is just like unsolicited comments on women's bodies. Now, men and women are guilty of this. So you telling somebody they're too skinny, that's my favorite one that I get all the time, or you ain't got no ass, or you got really big breasts, or you would look better if your hair was blonde, or you would look better if your hair was longer, whatever. Who the fuck said, as a human being, like, okay, number one, before I say anything, we are not here for another human's consumption. I'm not here for your consumption. You're not here for mine, okay? So why do human beings feel so entitled to comment on another human? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's rude as fuck. It's very fucking rude, and you don't know what type of insecurities you're playing into whenever you make those comments, and you don't know how the other person feels. So fucking stop, all right? Short and sweet. And my favorite is catcalling. Listen, as a man, if you don't have to wake up and be like, I'm not going to wear this top because it's too revealing and I don't want to give the wrong message, then I shouldn't have to feel that way either. I shouldn't have to get up and second guess what I'm wearing because I might be catcalled. And let me tell you, you can have on fucking a long sleeve sweater and 5 layers of clothing and still be catcalled, because catcalling has nothing to do with what you're wearing, queen. Wear what the fuck you want to wear. Catcalling is about power and intimidation, putting fear into women and dehumanizing them. That's what it's about. Catcalling is about power, all right? So it doesn't matter what you have on. Wear what you want to wear. And there's men that will go, well, we catcall because it gets a response. You know why you get a response from catcalling, you fucking idiot? Because I'm scared. Did you not hear what I just said it is? I'm scared. Don't act like you don't see women out here being killed because they turn down a man's advances. Like, please don't act like that's not happening, because it is. All right? Please. Which brings me to my other favorite thing. I'm not going to really unpack this one because we all know what objectification of women is. It just teaches women that their values lies in their looks and what men think of them, basically. And that could be no more far from the truth. Like, oh my God. Just do you. Like, these men don't even have a pot to piss in, a window to throw out of, and they over here worrying about what we wearing and what we doing and all this stuff. Like, girl, live your life, all right? Fuck these niggas. All right. Which brings me to number 3. And I put on here just like dress codes. We all remember dress codes from like primary school and shit. It's super restrictive, and it's just a form of control for girls and women. Because why can't I come out in a tank top? Oh, because I'm turning little Johnny on. That's wrong as shit. You need to be correcting the boys' behavior. Boys' behaviors need to be corrected, all right? I shouldn't be punished because I have on something that someone else is turned on by. Like, that's lame as hell. Dudes can wear shorts and wear their shirts unbuttoned. I'm not out here just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not salivating at the fucking mouth. Like, that's, you know why? Because self-control, impulse control. Maybe guys should learn it. Maybe we should teach them that at a young age instead of teaching women, young girls, that their bodies are just sexual. They're just sexualized from a young age. Like, anyway, so basically what dress codes basically just teach is just, it ignores the boys' behavior completely. It freaking sexualizes young girls' bodies, and it just shows that that sexual violence is inevitable, and victims are partially to blame for it. So because of what I wore, I'm partially to blame why I was raped. And what does that perpetuate? Rape culture. Is that okay? No, it's not fucking okay. So this shit needs to stop. Like, and I see the whole thing about the mask and like, oh, you can't implement masks in school, but you can implement dress codes for women. Exactly. That part. So this just brings me to my other point, going along with the objectification and the policing. But before I even go to that, I had a friend who was looking up, like, if she could drive around with her shirt off. Because I think in South Carolina, men can't do it either. But the point is that there's a bunch of policies policing women's bodies. So found out, goes to show, no. And it's just so weird to me that it's obscene for me to wear my breast out, but a man can. Let me tell you something. Let me break this down for you. All my breasts are is extra fat. The only difference between my breast and your breast as a man is I produce milk and you don't. That is the only fucking difference. The only fucking difference. I promise you. Look it up. That's the only difference. Because if it wasn't the only difference, how come we can both get breast cancer? Oh my God. Like, please make that shit make sense, because it doesn't. Like, we have been sexualized so much so that we can't even walk outside with our shirts off because our breasts are so sexualized. Which brings me to my next point. Breastfeeding in public places. Again, breasts have been so sexualized that women can't even do a natural thing such as feed their fucking child. That's weird to me. Like, I shouldn't have to cover up because it makes you feel more comfortable. I should have to cover up because it makes me feel more comfortable. Not the other way around. That is bullshit, okay? Like, we need to stop. We need a whole fucking revamp of America, of the world. But anyways, asking women about children. This shit is aggravating. Like, I don't know how many times I've been asked, like, oh, are you married? You gonna have kids? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know how many dudes other than your mom is asking about having grandkids, but I'm pretty sure guys don't get that question nearly as much as women do. Like, let's set something straight. Not every woman wants to be married. Not every woman wants to have children. That's just what it is. It's not, oh, you'll change your mind later, because I've heard that before. You'll change your mind. You'll want kids. No, some women really just don't want kids, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to want kids. Like, you don't have to want to be married. Like, not everybody wants that life. Like, what the fuck? And what really kills me is it's always so much, and women are guilty of this. There's so much mom bashing, so much unsolicited parenting advice and judgment from women against other women. Why? Why is it that you're judging Susie Sue for her putting her kid in swim classes? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Or you're asking, oh, you're in the club, where's your kids at? You don't ask the dad that when he's out having a few beers. You don't go, hey, where's your kids at? You don't do that. Like, be real. That's not happening. Like, I don't understand why women are so shamed, especially when it comes to parenting. Like, a woman does, I feel like, most of the parental work. I don't know, I'm not a parent, so I have no idea, but that's what I feel like. I feel like most of that, this is opinion, I feel like they do most of the parental work, and then a guy comes in and they just like lift the baby up for 2 seconds. They're like, oh my God, you're such a good dad. Like, they just get a pat on the back just for like being there. And it's just like, wow. All right. This doesn't really flow at all, to be honest. I'm being real. But rape anxiety, like, how many guys have to go outside with keys in between their fingers because they're afraid of being stabbed? How many guys have blades? Like, I had one of my guy friends actually give me a blade to use just in case. Like, I don't think a lot of girls are out here saying, hey dude, I know you need some pepper spray. Like, how many girls you see walking around with pepper spray on their keychain? That is not normal. Let's not normalize this shit. I shouldn't have to walk around with protection. Like, that is bullshit. Like, it's so aggravating. Like, if you don't have to get up and be like, oh, I'm gonna take this morning run, but let me not run that way because there's those woods over there, and I know Sally was sexually assaulted over there, so I'm not gonna go that way. Until you know what that feels like, shut the fuck up, all right? And now I am not flowing no more. Now I'm just going all over the place, and I really don't even care. My favorite thing is the unconscious bias. So one example I have of this is just like a work thing. It's really simple. It's a really small thing. I mean, it's subtle, but it's discriminatory as fuck. So just assuming like because I'm a woman that I don't know certain things or that I'm into certain things, like, oh, because she's a woman, she probably likes to get up and do her makeup and blah, blah, blah. Do you see my fucking eyebrows? Like, I'm not into makeup like that. I'm not into all the feminine whatever things, whatever, and that's okay. And if you are into it, that's okay too. Like, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so the unconscious bias. So that was one, but an example from work was just like this girl, one of the managers was talking about his car, and he was talking about it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is going wrong with it. And she said, it's your alternator. Your alternator's messed up. You should go get it checked out. And he's like, what? You don't know anything about cars, blah, blah, blah. Then what does he do? He goes, and he did this unconsciously because he just what he's been taught. Women don't know shit about cars anyway. So he walks over to a male coworker and goes, hey, my car, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, I don't know then, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay. So guess what? So the manager goes to go get his car fixed, comes back and tells the girl, you were right, it was my alternator. Like, one example of unconscious bias. Like, don't assume just because I'm a woman that I don't know certain things. I don't know how many times I've had a guy try to break something, mansplain something to me, and I'm like, I already know. Like, I know about cars, I know about sports. Like, I not just men are exclusively into one thing and women aren't exclusively into another. Like, that's simple-minded and dumb as fuck, bro. Anyway, the gender pay gap. I mean, I know some guys that act like that shit doesn't exist. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, it's real. I mean, it's out there for you to look up. I mean, if you want to look it up, fucking look it up then. The gender gap is fucking real. Like, men get paid more for the same fucking job as women. Like, the same job, we have the same qualifications, same educational background, and you get paid more. Why? Because you're a man. And I feel like, this is opinion, I feel like it probably has a lot to do with the fact that women are seen as a liability because, oh, we have the ability to get pregnant. So it's like, shit, if she gets pregnant, gotta pay her maternity leave or whatever. When it's with a guy, it's just like, he may or may not have kids. He may, but you just assume because I'm a woman, I want to have kids, right? So it's just like, that's discrimination. Anyway, like I said, this is starting to go all over the place, but because I'm about to bring it back. No, I'm not. I'm moving on. Anyway, gendered language. No, gender pay gap, and then just the fact that there's freaking women. There's not enough women in these high power authority like roles. There's not enough women there. We need more women in authoritative type roles. We need more women in power because it's not enough. There's literally men in legislation debating abortion. That's weird. You don't even menstruate, but you're debating abortion. Okay. Well, that brings me to my another point, which is menstruation. Just the derogatory attitude about something that women naturally fucking do. Like, I don't understand why there's such a negative attitude towards it. And I remember at some point, I mean, I'm older now, so I don't do this, but as a kid being like embarrassed about it, like trying to like make sure I open it all quietly, or like, oh, if it fell out of my pocket, it's like, I'm all ashamed and shit. It's like, why am I being ashamed? Like, it's a period, bro. Like, I shouldn't feel ashamed. But I feel like some of that shame comes from the derogatory attitude towards it. So you're feeling shame for something that your body naturally does, because you don't want a guy to be like, oh, you're on your period, no wonder you're acting like a bitch, or no wonder you're acting so emotional, or you're acting like this, acting like that. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, like, yes, does menstruation switch up your hormones? Totally. But please stop with the correlating, I'm doing something, I must be on my period. Like, let's just stop that narrative, please. Let's kill it. Anyway, back to the gendered language. I said back to, I never even said anything about it the first time. See, this shit is 16 minutes. Told you this is gonna be a long one. The gendered language. Simply just saying, hey, you guys. Like, there's so many, like, I could go into gendered language all day. Like, there's just so many different examples, but that's the main one I can think of. Just like saying, hey, you guys, to a group full of people. There's women here too. Like, literally gendered language, and you might not think this deep, but this is what it is. It literally suggests that one gender is associated with one role over another. So if you're like in an office setting and you're like, we're gonna plan a party and give the woman all the duties of like making the food or some dumb shit like that. Why? Okay. But gender language literally paints this as a subcategory. All right, that's what it's doing. Moving on, because it's getting too fucking long now. I don't want to talk all day. Back to menstruation. Women have to pay taxes on their fucking period products. Why do I have to pay taxes on something, again, that my body naturally does? Bullshit. And I think my last point that I'm going to make is double standards, which we all know what double standards are. I'm not going to really deep dive that a lot. But a man is just a man, oh, he's assertive. Woman, bitchy, pushy, slut shaming. Oh, if I'm like, girls are easy, she was easy, bro, whatever. And just because I'm easy, I'm not entitled to say no. So if homeboy is like, yo, home care, you know, she's the easy one, you know, she a little hoe or whatever, you know, she'll let you fuck. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let you fuck. And then he's like, what? Like, what you mean? You a hoe, bro? Like, you're not entitled to say no to me because I heard you was a hoe. Stop the double standards. Stop slut shaming. Like, we're all allowed to fucking like sex. We're all allowed to fuck. We're all like, don't get it twisted. Personally, this is my own opinion. Again, I don't feel like there's anything liberating about having sex with a bunch of people. That's just me. I mean, if you feel liberated in it, great. But I don't really feel like there's anything liberating in it on a spiritual level because soul ties. But whatever, like, fucking do you. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you fucking slut. Like, whatever. Like, live your fucking life, dude. Like, who cares? Like, and it's not anybody's business. Like, I remember when body count was a big thing, and it was just like, oh, if a woman says 4, then you have to multiply it times like 3. Like, why? If a guy says 4, multiply it times 1,000. How about that? All right. Anyway, but I don't slut shame men, women. It doesn't matter. Fuck who you want to fuck. Do who you want to do. Who cares? Just please use a condom. That's all I ask. Don't be out here spreading germs and shit. Coronavirus is out here. All right. I think that I made all my points, honestly. I think that's it, because this video is 20 minutes now, and I hope I kept y'all alive for 20 minutes and y'all are still with me. But I think I made all my fucking points. If I cuss too much, oh well, because I feel like I said fucking so many times. But, okay, so yeah, my last point is just that, and I'll probably make another video for that too, is just how sexism affects men, because it affects men. It just affects men and boys when they don't conform to stereotype gender roles. So boys don't cry. So, or men are supposed to be masculine and strong. So you know, when Terry Crews came out and said, hey, I was raped, people laughed at him, you know, shit like that. So I definitely want to make a video about that, because again, like I just said, sexism doesn't affect just men. I mean, just women, it affects men as well. So yeah, I think that's all I got for y'all, because this shit is too long now. So yeah, hope you learned something. Comment, like, subscribe. Is that what they be saying on YouTube? And yeah, I'm fucking out, bitch. All right, that was a little, I'm leaving. I'm gone.